Okay, we're continuing with the quotes from Holy Grail of Wisdom quotes by me, P. Rogers. Here's Bertrand Russell, part 3 on Bertrand Russell, psychology. Children will, as in Plato's Republic, be taken from their mothers and reared by professional nurses. So remember this. This is Bertrand Russell. He's one of those super rich guys who thinks that the regular people, the proles, the peasants, you and me, really should not be allowed to breed on our own. We should have, we should be assigned who to breed with like animals, that our children should be raised by professional nurses run by the states, whoever the rich people think should be in charge of breeding and educating children and taking care of them. By selective breeding, the congenital differences between the rulers and the ruled will increase until they become a different species. That's another thing, was they felt that the aristocrats should, breed for quality, and that they should do the thinking of the world, that the peasants and the proles are just a bunch of stupid talking monkeys, and feed them a lousy diet, make them stupid. Okay, send them to terrible schools where they're just taught to memorize like animals and don't teach them understanding. This is a way that you can create like a multi-tiered society. You'll have the aristocrats who are intelligent. The aristocratic men will have a harem of women to have sex with. Then there'll be like a middle class of people educated enough to run the machines, but no more than that. Good conformist technical thinkers to run the machines, but no sophisticated individual thinking, no idea of liberty or freedom. And then you'll have some peasants to do the dirty jobs, to pick the cotton, to clean the toilets, things like that. That's how they want to run society. Okay, now he'll talk about the Prussian school. He says, the Fichte, the German who set up the design of the German school, he said, laid it down that education should aim at destroying free will, so that after pupils have left school, they shall be incapable throughout the rest of their lives of thinking or acting otherwise than their schoolmasters would have wished. They will be convinced that snow is black. Remember that line, that snow is black. That's what they want to train them to think. And it actually works. You'll get people nowadays, they think the opposite of, like when I was growing up, every single guy I know, we wanted to get married and have a family. That was a normal thing to think. Nowadays, you got young people convinced the thing to do is, get your dick cut off, take it up the ass, change your gender. It's insane. It's like the opposite of how things were. It's so crazy that it's like unbelievable. If somebody had told me that this is what things are going to be like when I was an old man, I would say, you're full of shit. There's no way that's going to happen. Okay, 20% of kids in grade school and high school declare themselves as one of those LGBTQ things. There was not a single person. I went to high school, about 5,000 students, and I never met or heard of any of these things. I'd heard of homosexuality. I'd heard of it. I never met anybody that was a homosexual. It was, I'm sure maybe somebody was, but I never heard of it. I never met a person who said they were a homosexual until I was in college. Okay, that's how rare it was. Okay, let's see what else. Bertrand Russell continues. He says, he went and met with Lenin, okay? And again, we talked about that. Why would Lenin meet with him? Probably because he thought he was, of the same mind on how to handle the peasants. He said, when I went and put a question to Lenin about socialism and agriculture, he explained with glee how he incited the poor peasants to fight against the richer peasants, and they soon hanged them from the nearest tree. Ha ha ha. And his laughter at the peasants being massacred made my blood run cold. Yeah, Lenin thought it was funny to kill the Christian peasants, okay? Lenin and Stalin, they killed over 65 million Christian peasants, okay? And the modern Christians are so stupid, they don't realize that the same thing is happening now. Okay. So, Bertrand Russell acts like, oh, isn't this terrible how Lenin was? But he's trying to do the same thing. Okay, so here let's continue with Bertrand Russell. Social psychologists of the future will have a number of classes of school children on whom they will try different methods of producing an unshakable conviction that snow is black. Various results will soon be arrived at. First, that influence of the home is obstructive. That's why they want to get the kids into Montessori as fast as possible in preschool, to get them away from their parents. They don't want their mothers and fathers teaching them Christian values and tradition and respect for parents, respect for family, respect for God. No, they want them to be little atheists as soon as possible. Second, they will come to the conclusion that not much can be done unless indoctrination begins before the age of 10. Yeah, you got to brainwash them at an early age to make it unconscious. Third, that verses set to music and repeatedly intoned are very effective. Yeah, when I was a kid, we sang Christian songs, we sang patriotic songs. Modern kids, They're going to have them sing atheist songs, anti-family songs, communist songs. Okay, fourth, the opinion that snow is white must be held to show a morbid taste of eccentricity. So yeah, basically anybody who doesn't go for the BS and says, no, snow is white, tells the truth, they're going to label that person as a weirdo, crazy, antisocial, bad, racist, or some other terminology. You're snowophobic or something like that. Okay. It is for the future scientists to make these maxims precise and discover exactly how much it costs per head to make children believe that snow is black and how much less it would cost to make them believe that it is gray. Okay, so this is what he felt was the purpose of science in the schools. He said, I think the most important subject in the future will be the psychology of groups. Yeah, how to brainwash groups of people. Why is propaganda so much more successful when it stirs up hatred than when it tries to stir up friendly feeling? So they pick a group who they want to demonize and get rid of, which currently is the white Christian male. So now everybody's taught in the public schools that you should hate the white Christian male. He's not the founding fathers who made the greatest country in the world. No, he's a bunch of racist, evil, homophobic, sexist, patriarchal, misogynist, chauvinist, evil men who must be gotten rid of. Okay, must be replaced by diversity, by whatever new word they can come up with, okay? And DEI, whatever they can come up with, okay? Imagine if you pick sports teams based on this, okay? You get rid of meritocracy and just say, we need to pick our sports team based on this. How good would that team be, okay? How good is the United States becoming? What's happening to freedom? All right, well, anyways, this is what I'm trying to show you. This has been going on for over 100 years. This is Bertrand Russell trying to figure out these things like 100 years ago, all right? So anyways, that's it for this quote session today.